it's Mia from Rose Nails by Marissa Coombs, and today I want to show off the amazing foil gel from Sbd London. It is the best foil gel I have ever used, ever. So I'm going to be using Team Gorgeous number 1, which is the world's best white, on some of these tips. I didn't show you the whole thing because it's boring. I've just done 2 coats of white, both cured in the lamp for 60 seconds. And then I'm going to do a nice thin but even coverage of foil gel. Make sure you haven't got any bits that you've missed because that will really pick up once the foil's been applied. So give it a nice thin but even layer. It kind of shows up things the way that chrome does when you don't quite top coat it properly. So make sure you give this a really good layer. And you want to cure that in the lamp for 60 seconds, and you want to apply your foil as soon as it comes out of the lamp. So you're best doing this one nail at a time. So once that's out of the lamp straight away for 60 seconds, I'm going to use this full coverage foil from Diamond Glitters. And I'm going to use this silicone tool, and I look like I'm rubbing really fast, but that's just because I've sped the video up a little bit. So you just sort of gently rub all over. This was a bit awkward to do because it's on a tip. It's much, much easier doing it on a real person. I have used this foil gel on quite a few of my clients now, and they've all loved it. And it's much, much easier to do on a real person because obviously you've got the finger that you can hold and press against. Whereas this, I think it actually did fall off my tip. Yeah, it did. There we go. It fell off my tip holder. So you want to keep sort of rubbing this, trying to get out any air bubbles that are there until you see this happen. Look, you can see that it's starting to come up. If there are any areas that aren't coming up super duper easily, because the whole foil should peel off when the image is transferred. So if there's any bits that don't, just give it another rub and then just gently peel the foil off. And you've got this beautiful full coverage foil. Then I'm going to use a layer of the Sbd London base coat just for, just to kind of cover it, and then my top coat can stick to it really well. So it's just to give the foil an extra layer of protection so it doesn't peel. So whenever I'm using full coverage foils or full coverage glitter, I will normally go in with a layer of base coat. Oh, this is the full cover foil I was using from Diamond Glitters, if anyone is interested in it. I'm also going to be using some of the Simply Shimmer colours in this set that I'm going to do. So on this one I'm going to use Simply Shimmer number 10. I think I used number 10 and number 6. I can't remember. I cannot remember. It's been a long day already. So on this one I'm going to do like a half and half, sort of half foil and half Simply Shimmer colour. So I'm just going to cure that in the lamp for 60 seconds, and then I'm going to go in with Simply Shimmer 10 and paint the rest of the nail that I have not done white. Don't worry too much about whether your line is perfect. That line is going to get covered up towards the end anyway. So don't worry if it's a perfect line or if you slightly go over with one polish or another. So I've given that 2 coats of Simply Shimmer 10 and just 1 coat of the white because it's going to have a foil over it. And I'm just going to, this is the bit where you do want to be quite precise, I'm just going to matte top coat with my Sbd London matte top coat just over the colour, because I want that to be super duper not sticky, because I don't want the foil to stick to that area. So I'm literally just matte top coating this so the foil does not stick at all to any sort of leftover inhibition layer. And I'm going to give it a scrub with cleanser just to make sure, so that nothing is going to stick to that pink area. And once the cleanser has evaporated, I'm going to foil gel on the white part of the nail. Again, you want to be relatively precise at this point, but it is all going to be covered up anyway because we're going to use some of the gorgeous Sbd London Opal Crush polishes to give this a little bit of shimmer in between, so you won't see that harsh line across at all. So once that's cured for 60 seconds and it comes straight out of my lamp, I'm just showing you that I like to use this silicone tool with like quite a thin end because it gets down the client's side walls really well if you're doing full coverage foils. I find the bigger sort of hoof shaped ones I find much more difficult. Oh, if this happens, if you press too hard and that happens, just line the image up again, give it a bit of a rub and then use your silicone tool again. That is purely my own error because I went on and I rubbed far too hard when I hadn't actually put the image on the foil down properly yet. So that's entirely my error. Whoopsie daisy. I've only used full coverage foils a couple of times so far since I've got this foil gel, because I've never ever found a foil gel that actually does the full image. So I am loving my full coverage foils at the moment, absolutely to die for. So I'm just testing this. As I say, if any areas, like here, there was an area that wasn't coming up, give it another rub. That means that the image has not fully transferred yet. I had a little bit of a stubborn area up here where I'd kind of stuck it down twice. So I'm giving it a good rub, and then it was trying to fall off my tip holder and all the other fun things that happen when you're trying to film nails. All of this while I've got a camera in between me and the nail as well, so it is quite difficult to see. So I ended up giving it a good old rub with my thumb and taking it off the tip stand. So you can see as I take the foil off, then you can see exactly why I've matte top coated the colour, so it hasn't stuck at all to that coloured area. Oh, I think I even broke my blooming silicone thing in the end. I am not the most patient of people. I get very frustrated and impatient, so I was like, oh my god, come off! I shouldn't have stuck it down twice. And look, the end of my silicone thing fell off, look. What an absolute donut. Right, so now I've got that back on my tip holder and I've stopped being a donut. I'm just going to cover the nail in base coat. I'm just going to cover the whole nail in base coat because it just means it's nice and even coverage for when you apply the top coat, and it really seals that foil in. Make sure you are capping your free edges when you're doing base coat as well as the top coat, then the top coat will stick to the base coat. This is Simply Shimmer 6, which is a gorgeous pink, and I've done 2 of the nails in that colour for this set. And I'm going to use Opal Crush 5. I love these Opal Crush gels from Sbd London. They are like tiny pieces of micro mylar in a gel, so they're so easy to use. There's no like sticky uppy bits that you can get when you're using mylars. They're amazing. And I'm just going to use my ombre brush for this. I have no idea why I decided to use my ombre brush, but I did. So I'm just going to create a sort of swoosh with the Opal Crush. The Opal Crush comes in quite a few different colours as well. This one has got sort of pinky greeny tones to it when it hits the light, so I thought it would go perfectly with that full coverage foil and the colours that I've used. And I'm just trying to, I didn't want the swoosh to be like a perfect backwards S. I kind of wanted it to kind of fade out into the colour, which is why I chose my ombre brush, because then I could just kind of slightly sort of tease it out at the sides so it's not a perfect backwards S shape. I wanted it to be a bit more sort of airy fairy. Fairy nails. And I love these Opal Crushes. How gorgeous is that? Look at that. So back to this nail. So this has come out of my lamp with my base coat on now, and I'm just going to apply some of that same Opal Crush gel along the line where the colour and the foil meets in a kind of mini swoosh. And just making sure that I've got enough Opal Crush on there to hide and blend that line in. Isn't it pretty? I love the opals and I love these foils, and I love doing full coverage foils, and they are so easy. I mean, I know I got frustrated with one of them because I'm doing it on a tip and it makes it so blimmin' difficult when you're doing it on a tip, but they are so good for people that aren't sort of naturally good at nail art or anything like that. So I've just gone over these with my amazing tempering top coat from Sbd London, and there is the full set. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please leave me any comments if you've got any questions, and please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one, my lovies. Bye!